Good afternoon, class. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon to our dear teachers. Norpahat will lead the prayer first before we begin the debate.
Iyan po natin ang ating mga ulo at tayo manalangin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. والحمد لله.
Okay, everybody sit down. Today, as we tackle the challenges of the youth, we will be tackling an issue on illegal drugs, which is haunting the youth today. So the debate is on the issue of illegal drugs. Death penalty, is it a solution or not? So City will be giving you the rules, and as the arbiter, she will now give you the rules.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to my dear teachers. This afternoon, we shall witness the debate on the issue of illegal drugs. Death penalty, is it a solution or not? Each group will have 6 speakers, which speaker will speak for 2 minutes. The pro-death penalty side are John Marlo Carmen, Ronald Emmanuel Alimosa, Rania Black, Shara Marie Ragindin, Christopher Flores, and Sharian K. Civilian. And the no to death penalty side are Armel Joy Bergonia, Rosenda Adog, Charles Dave Taberos, Anthony James Bolick, Annabel Peralta, and Rona Marie Racco. And now, let us hear the speakers of both sides.
Good afternoon. Death penalty. The first established death penalty law date as far as back in the 18th century BC in the Code of King Hammurabi of Babylon, where death penalty is codified for 25 different crimes. Death penalty are also part of 14th century BC of Hittite Code and 7th century BC of Draconian Code of Athens, which death is codified is the only punishment for all crimes. And 5th century BC Roman law of 12 tablets. Death sentence is carried out by such means of crucifixion, drowning, beating to death, burning alive, and imprisonment. Thank you.
Marty, death penalty. What is capital punishment? Capital punishment is the death penalty. It is used today and was used in ancient times to punish a variety of offenses. Even the Bible advocates death penalty for illegal drugs, murder, and other crimes. Bible says about death penalty. Exodus chapter 21 verse 12. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put on death. chapter 21, verse 16. Whoever sells a man and steals him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put on death. When the word death penalty is used, it makes yelling and screaming from both sides of extremists. One side may say deterrence, while other side may say you may execute an innocent man. Though the government deems it wrong for a person to murder one another and use illegal drugs, it has granted itself the special right to terminate the life of its citizen based on outcomes of criminal trials. It has adopted a barbaric Bronze Age belief of an eye for an eye. It has ignored the reality of imperfection and the common malfunctioning in the criminal justice system.
Good morning, ma'am. We believe that the death penalty is the really solution or answer of the dealing drug or any crime fact. Here is example, at least one fact that should convince you. Sentencing people to death for drug is a violation of international law. International law says for use of the death penalty, Amnesty International po says it's used in all cases. United Nations can repeatedly said that drug crime is the most serious crime. We believe that more than half-words countries we believe them or agree with them.
Good afternoon, everyone. For many years, our country has struggled on the issue of illegal drugs. I am here to prove to you that the death penalty is a just and effective punishment for criminals like illegal drug users and sellers. In the administration of Fidel V. Ramos, a series of high-profile crimes during that period after the death penalty was abolished created a public impression that a series of heinous crimes were on the rise. That is due to the rise on criminality and incidents of heinous crimes. Many opposes the death penalty on religious and humanitarian grounds. But I, for one, advocate to believe that the death penalty deters crime. Because as of now, many Filipino illegal drug users and sellers are now surrendering themselves to the authorities. That is because they fear the death penalty. Thank you.
Good afternoon. There are many reasons that clearly establish that the death penalty should definitely not be abolished. Death penalty has proven to decrease the murders and illegal drug rates. It shows that the justice system has no sympathies for criminals. When the felons came from the capital punishment, they repeat their crimes and take more innocent lives. It gives closure to the families of victims who have already suffered a lot. Capital punishment is the best way to pass a message to the society, making it a safer place for our people. It will help us remove the discrimination which should be corrected by giving the capital punishment and accept poverty. Illegal drug is the roots why our country suffered a lot in crimes, rapes, murders, abuses. We need to be brave to back the capital punishment for me, for you, for our future generation, and for our humanitarians. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Drugs are chemicals that change the way a person's body works. You probably know that drugs are bad for your health. When people talk about the drug problem, they usually mean abusing it or using such as marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, LSD,
crystal meth, and heroin. The effects of using this is that it may damage the main organs of our body, such as brain, hearts, lungs, and etc. And also the blood that circulates all throughout our body. We pursue death penalty because of the high rate of crimes in our country, especially murder and rape. Philippine Daily Inquirer, as of July 4, 2016, by Marlon Ramos, states that killings show gravity of prohibited drug menace. And also, 9 cops or police test positive in a drug test. And a mom killed 6 babies because of drug addiction. The old saying goes, an eye for an eye. Life imprisonment is not enough to stop illegal drugs. We need death penalty to prove that it is the right thing to do to stop illegal drugs. Thank you.
And the note of death penalty side are
Good afternoon. Death penalty is a brutal sanction that violates the right to life. I'm against the death penalty, but not because of sympathy for drug users and drug pushers. It doesn't prevent or reduce drug crimes, costs a whole lot more than life in prison, and worst of all, risk executions of innocent people. Life without parole costs less than the death penalty. Study after study had found that the death penalty is more expensive than life in prison. The high cost of the death penalty is for the complicated legal process, with the largest cost at the pre-trial and trial stages. The point is to avoid executing innocent people. The tremendous expenses in the death penalty cases apply whether or not the convicted is convicted. It comes down to whether we should keep a system for the sake of retribution or revenge, even though it isn't effective in reducing drug crimes. Costs much more than the alternatives, and worst of all, can lead to the nightmare of executing someone for a crime he didn't commit. Precisely, no one has the right to deprive another person in his life, degrade him or her to the status of an animal or abuse, and debase a person to the extent of destroying his or her dignity forever.
Good morning. I am against the death penalty because it doesn't serve as a deterrent. Capital punishment is always wrong. Why? Because it doesn't serve as a deterrent. Moral law consists of rules that can specify which kind of act are morally right and which are morally wrong. The moral law declares that killing of human being is always wrong. Then, as I observe or we observe that capital punishment is obviously an act of killing human being. Capital punishment is always wrong.
Good afternoon to everyone. We are against to the death penalty because there is no one has the right to take one's life away. People are born by God, and God has the only person who has this right. Human beings should not kill human beings because even if criminals have committed horrible crimes, the government does not have the right to execute them. Taking those people into prison is a good solution because this is a deserved punishment for crimes, and this kind of punishment is strong enough to scare in criminals' mind. Capital punishment takes the life of a person, which is a real justice to any crime. Life imprisonment gives a chance to the criminals to realize their mistake. Thank you.
Fellow students, especially teachers, ma'am and sir, good afternoon. I believe that death penalty would be worse because you don't get the chance to live your life anymore. You just die. Whereas, if you get the life sentence, you could live the rest of your life, even if it is behind bars. At least you are alive, and you get food to eat, a place to eat, a place to think and reflect on your past. Even though life sentence can haunt you because of your past. Death penalty ends your life then and there. You cannot see any people that you love or who loves you. If you get the death penalty and you get the chairs, it may not kill you right away. So you have to suffer a great amount of pain before you die. You basically fry. Life imprisonment helps the criminal to be a good person and also to realize to them that what they have done, and we don't have any right to kill someone. Because as some said, life is a gift of God. Everyone loves to live. So I must say that death penalty is a cakewalk compared to life imprisonment.
Good afternoon, fellow students, teachers. I am against in death penalty because there is no credible evidence that the death penalty deterrents crime more effectively than long term of imprisonment. States that have death penalty laws do not have lower crime rates or murder rates. States without such laws and have abolished by capital punishment show no significant changes in either crime or murder rates. Good morning. We are against the death penalty because death penalty was very cruel, inhuman, and degrading. A denial of human rights. Sentencing someone's death denies them the right to live with a life. And taking one's life, even a proof of solution in resolving the struggle in drug addiction. And I choose that a life imprisonment was the best one to be chosen because everyone has a chance to live a life, to claim the right as a human, the right to life and the right to live a life from torture. The death penalty is a symptom of a culture violence, not a solution to the overlapping struggles regarding drug addiction. Executive trial is the ultimate irrevocable punishment that may risk the life of executing an innocent person that can never be irreversible. Death penalty puts someone else in the position of having to kill in a premeditated manner, and it forces a certain person to be a murderer. Death penalty doesn't accomplish anything positive. It's only a waste of life, and it only brings problems. Why we should need have to kill if we all have a democratic government who could actually detain all the drug lords that can kill every single fruit that may cause rebellion and war from the family of the executant than to resolve our problem. My point is, we don't need have to kill. All we need to have was an active government that can tame all the drug lords without even sentencing them a death penalty. Because everyone has the right to live a life and regret their sins and make our life much better. Even you. Thank you. At this point, let us witness the rebuttal on both sides.
Armel, this is your question. Do you think that life imprisonment can stop the illegal drug issue?
Yes.
And why?
Life imprisonment make the drug addicts realize their mistakes. And now, this is my question. Is the death penalty really the answer to drug crimes?
Yes, because the word death penalty is not all about killing people. It's all about a warning for those people doing bad or a crime. Death sentence were carried out with a specific law and right constitution. Thank you.
Good morning.
This is your question. What is life in prison without parole?
Life in prison. This sentence implies that a convicted person has to spend the rest of his life in jail. And depending on the rule of the country, he may or may not be eligible for parole. spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. The facts prove that the life in prison without the possibility of parole is severe, swift, and a certain punishment. And my question is, does the death penalty helps the victim's family?
Yes, because death penalty can give justice for families victims. Because if you kill someone, you shouldn't be able to go to jail. You shouldn't have the same punishment as the crime you committed. Thank you.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Blah.
This is my question. Is there justice if a criminal who was sentenced to life imprisonment was to get off due to parole?
Yes,
And why?
because although he do not have the possibility of parole, he fulfilled his crimes he made by spending his whole life in prison. And this is my question. Does the death penalty deter crime, especially murder?
Yes.
And how?
Well, you see, nothing more discourages a criminal than death. So, if a criminal who is sentenced to life death penalty would likely change all his sins.
Good afternoon, Bonnie. Now here's my question. Are you sure that even if they are inside of prison, they no longer harm their co-inmates or commit crime?
Yes,
Why?
because they are guarded inside and outside of the cell. And if they may harm their cellmates, they may punish. This is my question. Do murderers deserve to die?
Yes, because according to the Bible, Exodus chapter 21 verse 12, whoever strike a man so that he dies shall be put to death. Thank you.
Good morning, Miss Annabelle. This is my question. Do you think that life imprisonment can effectively solve the problem of illegal drugs?
Yes, because life imprisonment for them can itself make them feel ashamed for their crimes, and they will try not to commit rash crimes again. This is my question. Do you really believe that death penalty would be the best way to end the problem of drugs?
Yes. To list the criminals who committed a crime, so that if they approve the death penalty law, we don't need a life imprisonment, which is reclusion perpetua, because they will kill directly if we have a death penalty law. So thank you.
Hello, Rana.
Hello, Sharian.
This is your question. In your own perception, is life imprisonment in these past years or years to come really effective?
Yes, of course. If we just have a strict and active government who are brave enough to tame them without even sentencing them a death penalty. My question for you. Is that penalty really the solution to the struggle of drug addiction?
Yes, obviously, life imprisonment is not the solution to stop illegal drugs. Death penalty is all we need right now. It serves as a lesson learned to all next generations and to all drug addicts. Thank you.